the Trojan horse, one of the most famous inventions ever made, was built to infiltrate the city of Troy and end the Trojan War. But how did it actually work? Let's find out in today's episode of Fake Tank, Thursday. The Trojan War is a legendary conflict between the Greeks, and the Trojans fought over the latter's possession of Helen, who was the wife of the Spartan king Menelaus and the most beautiful woman in the world, or so the story goes. The war itself is said to have taken place sometime around the 13th century BC, though historians generally consider it to be a completely mythical event with no basis in reality. And yet its influence on art, literature, and culture has been enormous, inspiring everything from Homer's Iliad and Odyssey to the works of Rembrandt and Picasso. But let's talk about that Trojan horse. You see, the Greeks had been laying siege to the city of Troy for a decade with little success. So they hatched a plan to trick the Trojans into letting them inside the city walls. According to the account of the war given by the Greek poet Homer, the Greeks pretended to sail away, leaving behind a large horse made of wood as an offering to the goddess of wisdom, Athena. The Trojans, unaware that the Greeks were still there, accepted the offer and brought the horse inside their city. But as the sun rose the next morning, the Greeks returned and attacked, taking the city by storm. The survivors were either killed or enslaved, and the war was over. So why is this story so significant? Why has it captured the popular imagination and endured for thousands of years? There are many possible explanations. For one thing, the Trojan horse is a brilliant example of military engineering, even if it is a myth. The horse would not have been easy to build, requiring a large amount of time, effort, and resources. This is clearly evidenced by the dozens of near-identical horses that were constructed across the ancient Mediterranean in its image, and it is hard to think of any other structure that could have been used to fool the Trojans so completely. Another reason for the Trojan horse's enduring popularity is the element of surprise. The Greeks were able to conceal themselves inside the horse until it was too late for the Trojans to do anything about it. This element of surprise is what ultimately led to the downfall of the city of Troy. But the idea that the Greeks could have built such a large horse so quickly doesn't seem very realistic, especially considering the size of the actual Trojan War horse-looking structure at the Royal Ontario Museum in Canada, which stands over 10 feet tall and is nearly 60 feet long. In reality, it would have taken weeks, if not months, to construct such a massive horse. But then again, we don't really know how long the Trojan War actually lasted. Estimates range from 5 to 10 years. So it's possible that the Greeks could have built the horse in secret without being detected. Furthermore, the entire story of the Trojan War may be a myth, which means that the Trojan horse may not have ever existed at all. There is no archaeological evidence of the war or the horse, and the story only appears in Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. But even if the Trojan War was not a real event, that doesn't mean that the Trojan horse was not a real invention. It's possible that the story of the Trojan horse is based on a real historical event. Perhaps the Greeks did build a large wooden horse and use it to trick the Trojans, but the details of the story were embellished over time. Or maybe the Greeks didn't build the horse at all, but simply stole it from the Trojans. Either way, The Trojan horse is a powerful symbol of Greek ingenuity and military genius. It represents the ability of the human mind to come up with creative solutions to seemingly impossible problems. What do you think? Was the Trojan horse a real invention, or is it just a myth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I've been your host. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned something new.